Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. I'm having a random anxious day today. And this is where CBT only goes so far because the point is to identify the thought that's making you anxious. But there's no thought. My body just woke up and decided, let's be anxious today. So, yeah, that's fun. I had kind of a stressful day yesterday, total ADD moment. I turned my paper into the wrong class and didn't realize it until after my paper was due that I didn't turn it in to the right class because I turned it into the wrong class. And I got extremely stressed out, so I'm wondering if I'm just dealing with the anxiety of coming down from that. But I talked it over with my professors, everything's cool. I was definitely catastrophizing the situation for a few minutes because I was like, oh no, I'm going to fail this class. I've been working so hard and I mess up now. But yeah, like I said, my professor was really cool about it. I just explained the situation and he let me turn it in late. And he could see the timestamp on it, so he could see that I had done the project and finished it before the due date. So he's taking like full credit, accepting it. So yeah, crisis averted. But anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit about my outpatient experience. I got 20 days, so about 4 weeks. At the behavioral healthcare hospital. Every morning from 9 to 12 was like group therapy, different group therapies. There was one process group where we just talked about what had come up, and so I was able to talk about what symptoms I was experiencing and how I was dealing with it and get feedback from other people about, other ways how they've dealt with stuff. And coping strategies. And then there were 2 educational groups where it was mostly CBT based, but it had DBT and mindfulness mixed in with it. And yeah, overall it was really helpful. It's helpful for those days when I'm having anxiety because of a certain reason, when there's a thought. It's not so helpful today. But after this video, I'm probably going to do one of my meditation exercises because those usually help calm me down. So that's where mindfulness comes in, is doing the meditation, bringing your focus to your body, to the here and now, and kind of relaxing those physical symptoms inside of you. This was really helpful as I had to write 2 papers this summer term, this very short term, and I was just stressing about how I was going to finish them in time. And so I would just have to take a break and meditate, and with every breath just tell myself, things will get done when they get done. And that's something I learned from outpatient, to like add, instead of just meditating, just focusing on the breath, tell yourself reaffirming statements while you're doing it, so it works even better. I got stressed out in the middle of cooking dinner because the recipe just was not working out for me, and I just had to go. I ended up making something else that tasted good, but before I could continue, I had to just go meditate and go, it's going to be okay, over and over again. I spent most of my time outpatient hypomanic, I think just because the environment I was in was a very healing environment. Just able to talk about my issues and getting them out there, and then having the educational groups, I started to feel like, you know, I could take on the world, I could do anything. And now that I'm out of outpatient, that hypomania has kind of subsided, which is a shame, because it was kind of, at times it was nice feeling, because sometimes hypomania is just having that random dance party in your room because you're like just ecstatic over life. But sometimes hypomania is extreme irritability and wanting to rip somebody's throat out. So it's not always a good thing, but I was experiencing a lot of the better, less severe hypomanias during my time outpatient. And I now have a huge stack of papers, because I got like a packet every day of material that I can refer to when I'm feeling anxious or depressed. Stuff about cognitive distortions, mindfulness, self-worth. So I have a lot more resources to go to than I did before. And overall, just the environment was really one of acceptance and healing, and like 10/10, I would recommend an outpatient program to anybody struggling. The reason I went outpatient was because I was having a bad depressive episode, and I was just feeling really hopeless and having random crying spells. And that kind of stopped once I started going outpatient. I kind of got the sense that everything was going to be okay, and that I'd make it through. And I still have that sense, sort of. Of course, there's going to be days where I wake up anxious for no reason, because that's just my life. That's what I've got to get used to. And I'm going to go through my bipolar cycle over and over and over again, because that's just my life. That's just what's gonna happen. But I feel a lot more at peace with it than I did before. I was able to get my meds up too, so I think that's helping my depressive episodes not be so intense, because I'm on 60 milligrams of Prozac and 60 milligrams of Cymbalta, so that's kind of a lot of antidepressants, and like, thank goodness for my mood stabilizer, because that would send me way manic if I didn't have it. So yeah, overall, outpatient was really, really good for me, even though it was really not good for my wallet. My parents and I split the cost. I paid for half of it. And of course, insurance covered a certain amount, but it was still a lot of money that had to be paid, but it was really worth it overall. I feel better, even though I've had some really low days since leaving. Just I felt super lethargic, haven't had really any motivation to get anything done. I kind of hold on to that feeling that I had, that, you know, you can do anything, just push through it. So, like I said, I definitely would recommend an outpatient program to anyone who's struggling, who just needs a little bit of help getting back on their feet. And yeah, it was a good experience, and I was a little nervous when it ended that I would just go back to the way I was before, but I haven't. I've stayed on course, you know, I've had stressors in my life, but I think outpatient has given me different coping skills, different, those CBT ways of thinking that for some reason therapists just were never able to drive into my head before. I'm recognizing them better now, I guess, after being exposed to it for 20 days. It's just what I needed, the constant exposure rather than seeing a therapist every other week. It's a lot easier to recognize the distorted thoughts and to catch it and tell myself, you know, something happier, like that things will get done when they get done with my essays, or that things will be okay when I was making dinner. And so yeah, that's all I got for you today. I hope y'all have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.